Hey, how's it going? Lewis here. This video, I wanted to share something personal and share something weird, and hopefully it inspires others to take action and investigate what they've gotten themselves into. What do I mean by that? Well, back in 2005, right out of high school, joined the United States Marine Corps, and did my time, right? And within that time I was in the service, had a lot of weird stuff happen, which I'll talk about in other videos. And some of this should blow your mind. It blew my mind, so I just wanted to share it because I just like joke about it these days because I'm just used to seeing all this bizarre shit in my world and whatever. So I had watched the Jimmy Dore show, and he had Kurt Metzger on, and he's fucking hilarious. He's funny. And so I watched a couple of Kurt Metzger's interviews, and I love the topics because it's about all the crazy shit that I'm into and the shit that I experience and stuff like that. So, but he brought up this dude named Nathan Reynolds. I highly recommend you check out his stuff, his content. It is some bizarre shit, but if you think it's bullshit, don't go. It's cool. Don't worry about it. But anyways, so I watched quite a few. I mean, he's got a lot of videos, but I watched quite a few of them to get a take of, what is this occult stuff, these things that are going on, and royal families still fucking, they worship serpents and dragons and all. It's a bunch of crazy wild shit that I'm like, hey, I kind of thought it was like that when I was a kid. I was like, hey, I kind of thought it was weird and there's all this crazy shit. I played video games, I played Final Fantasy, and I learned about monsters and magic and all this crazy stuff. But anyways, I digress. So he in one of his interviews, he was talking about deliverance, right? And he said that he went somewhere in Dallas, I think it was, and he went to get delivered. He was having a lot of issues. I watch him, so I'm not going to tell you his story. Like, you need to hear it from the horse's mouth himself, right? You need to hear it straight from the source, and because it's far more impactful than I could ever tell a story. And there was this one interview where he was talking about deliverance, and he was in line waiting to see whoever was doing the thing, and he said this woman came up to him and gave him a folder, and she was like, here, you may need this. And he opened it up, and he said that there were prayers to renounce the oaths taken in Freemasonry, Scottish Rite Freemasonry, just everything, all the whatever the fuck. And he was like, yeah, I highly recommend, like, take a look. I highly recommend looking at them, even if you're not involved in any of this stuff. I highly recommend that you read these prayers, because you never know that someone in your lineage or something could have been involved in this stuff. And I was like, oh, I should probably read these because I know a few people. So I check out his website, and I go to where the prayers are, and they're on the link to a Wayback Machine because they're just not up anymore. And I skimmed through. I was like, oh man, there's quite a bit, but like, I'm gonna read through this first. Like, let me read through this first, and then if everything seems like okay, I can recite this without any weird shit, maybe. I was like, I'm gonna read through these, right? So as I started reading through them, dreams were coming to mind that I had years ago, just dreams of things. And one of them that came to mind was a dream where I remember having a molly pack on, had my gear on from the military, and I felt like this stuffiness around my neck, just like this stuffiness, just constricting me, like I couldn't breathe or talk, and but there was nothing there. It was invisible, like in the dream, right? That dream came to mind when I was reading through, I don't remember what degree it was that the prayer was renouncing. But it was one of them where renouncing the something of the cable tow, the fucking rope they put around your neck or whatever. And so that came to mind when I was reading that, right? So there's that. And then as I read through, some other dreams would come up about this stuff, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I was like, like I'm actually gonna. I was like, I'm gonna say this shit out loud. So I'm over here. I'm like, oh, fucking. I take a deep breath. I'm like, get ready. I'm like, I'm gonna really like put this out there, And so I start reciting. I read through it all. Read through all these prayers, but all this hocus pocus bullshit that they do and everything like that. And I was like, all right. And then afterwards, I was like, well, ain't much happening. Like I was waiting for something to fly off the wall or some shit, but whatever. So that was that. And then, so I went to bed that night. And I was attacked in my sleep by something. Don't know what. I was dreaming and it was getting really uncomfortable. And right before I woke up out of the dream, I heard a voice say, "We're coming to collect." And then as soon as I opened my eyes, I'm in like the sleep paralysis state. I just feel something I was laying on my stomach and I just feel something go. Just. Physically felt that. It was very uncomfortable. And I just laid there and I was like, really, bitch? I was like, that all y'all fucking got, you fucking pussies? That's what I said. I said that shit out loud. I was like, I'm a god, motherfuckers. What's up? The fuck you gonna do? I got hood in bed while I'm like half asleep, half awake, dealing with these fucking spooks fucking with me. And that was that. I went to bed, got up the next day, felt a little nasty, felt a little a little violated, but whatever. They tried that before. They tried that many times before, actually. I don't say they, but just whatever this weird hocus pocus shit that I had dealt with while I was in the military that freaked me out. I eventually stopped being a little bitch and decided to all right, I need to look at this spiritual shit then. So that's what happened. And then the next day, I was thinking about that, and actually no. I'm gonna back up real quick. I finished reading the prayers, and then I sat there. I'm just kind of letting the words marinate and just kind of whatever. And this thought came to me. I was like, what about my oath of enlistment that I took in the military? And something was saying, it's like, hey, you can do that too. I was like, I probably fucking should renounce my oath of enlistment. And I did. I said a prayer. I don't know what I said, but I was speaking to God, the one who runs everything. So I recited my own prayer. Right? I said, I don't know what I said, but I do know that part of it, I renounce, my oath of enlistment to the United States of America and all that shit. All that. In the name of Jesus Christ and God Almighty. I said that. Then I went to bed. Then that happened. Right? Forgot to mention that. That I renounced my oath of enlistment to the United States Corporation. Right? And then somebody came to collect, apparently. So now here I am. Free. Free from bondage. Free from putting man before me and God. Right? Because you have to think about this. Right? And veterans, talking to you, man. I hope you hear what I'm about to say. The oath of enlistment is an occult contract that puts you in bondage with the dark principalities that rule this land. Right? all that bullshit, I'll say it right now. Right, once a Marine, always a Marine. Fuck you. Nah, not anymore. I'm a free man. I'm a free man. I don't need an oath or any kind of bullshit to take care of my people. I don't need any oath to serve my people, to do good, right? To keep evil at bay. You know, if evil shows up on my streets, I'm not the only motherfucker. I'm not the only one, right? So I renounced that shit, and I have felt amazing. It has felt so good, and at the same time very, very uncomfortable, because now once I did that, it's a whole bunch of other stuff just started revealing itself to me about, you know, these. Quick story. I went to check out my buddies play, actually my teachers play, you know, at jazz club, and I was like, oh, I showed up a little early. I was like, well, I don't want to hang out at the bar or anything like that. Let me walk over to the VFW. So I go over to the VFW, and it was Halloween night, and I went to go check out some jazz, and then also I went over to the VFW. So I walk over there, and there's a DJ outside with the dance floor blasting music, and there was just like 3 people out there. Just 3 people. They were sitting at a table and stuff, and I walk over to them. I was feeling a good mood, you know. I was like, hey, I'm keeping the party alive and stuff. They're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I just chatted with them, and I went inside. You know, I'm over here dressed up like Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z, right? It's Halloween. You know, I got my costume on, so I go inside. I go up to the bar, and I just like look around, see a couple other people dressed up. You know, I see the guys in there. I'm like, how you doing, gentlemen? You know, talking to them, and just picking up on everything, because that old VFW's got mad spooks in it. Whatever. Yeah, it's got spooks in it. It's very, very it's historic, so it's got history. And I was just sitting there and just listening to their conversation for just a minute or two, and I just walked off. I was like, I don't know what these fools are talking about. These guys seem like, they seem different. They don't seem like, I'm going to say awake, but I don't know. It's just like they were focused on something different. Anyways, so I started walking around. I got to take a piss. So I went to the restroom, and I came out, and I was walking around, and I was looking up at all the memorabilia and this and that, and I was looking at all the patches and this unit, 44 Airborne, blah blah, all this crap, and I was looking at it, and I was like, bro, they're fucking dragons. We got snakes. Those are our like symbols, like for these units and shit. And all of a sudden I got lightning, and then I'm like, whoa, and I just like, I look around, and then I look down and I see I see the table for the fallen, and I look at it and I see the velvet rope in front of it, and I see the 2 columns, and I was like, it's right there too. I'm like, those are the column things, you know, J and B. And I was like, and then I saw the table, you know, it's got the salt and the lemon and the plate and it's got the whole little thing. It's all symbolic. And I was like, whoa. And I look around, I was like, bro, this is a fucking death cult, bro. And I was like, it is. No, I wasn't like, it is. I knew it was before, but I was like, man, this is a fucking death cult, dude. And I was like, look at all our shit, dude. We got dragons and fucking crate. I'm like, what the fuck? And I saw the table, and I saw like all these symbols everywhere. I started seeing symbols all over the VFW. I was like, wow, this is fucking wild. And like, this is a crazy fucking place. And it was Halloween after all, so the veil was thin, I guess you can say. And I was like, that's crazy. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, whatever. And so I walk out, and I look, and those people are dancing on the dance floor. It's just like 3-4 of them. That's it. That's out there. And I'm walking, and I see them, and one of the guys waves me over. And then I just go out there, and I just start dancing with these strangers. We weren't dancing good at all, but it didn't matter. And I was just like, man, this is beautiful. This strangers, and we're just having a good time, really vibing with each other. They were from another country. I can tell by their accent. They were somewhere Europe, somewhere. I have no idea, but But I did speak English, but they had an accent and stuff like that. And I just danced with them for a good 20 minutes. And then I just walked off and waved them by. It felt amazing. And I just looked back at that place and I was just like, this is an interesting night. Had a good time. Had a good time at the club, watching the show. And so anyways, I'm digressing back to the renouncement of that oath. You know, if you are a veteran, you know, this is very important. This is a important message here. If you're a veteran, I highly recommend you renounce your oath of enlistment. Yeah, I know you did your time. Maybe you retired and now you're separated. You're separated, but you're still connected, right? Why do you think they call it a service-connected disability, right? Renounce your oath of enlistment and see how much your life changes. I believe it is the key to all of us healing from the things that we experience, healing from the things that we did, things that haunt us every night that no one else gives a shit about. No one cares. You're the one that has to deal with your torment, right? And no one understands, except for, you know, other veterans, right? And so I hope you understand me when I say this, to renounce that oath of enlistment, because it keeps you in bondage with a death cult. We're a death cult. We're run by a death cult. If you don't do what we say, we will go to your country and we'll fucking kill you. We'll slaughter all of you. We'll slaughter your women, your children, men. We will rape and destroy your fucking way of life. And then we'll give you some democracy. We'll give you some freedom after, right? Yeah. It's really twisted. And I was very uncomfortable with that revelation. It made me, I was mentally not good for a long time. Because I was really starting like, man, what was that all about? What are we doing? What the hell? And then through living at this magical, spooky mansion that I lived in for a while, I'm definitely going to talk about that in another video. When I lived there, that's where a lot of revelations were coming to. And I met people there that I wouldn't have met anywhere else. And I'm grateful that I did, because we shared stories that were very comforting. They were very dark and twisted, but they were comforting to one another, knowing that we're not the only ones dealing with this weird spiritual shit. And after hearing stories from another veteran about some really strange shit going on, I shared my stories, and it just felt good to be able to relate to somebody and let people know, like, hey, this is not what it seems. They sell you the story of fighting for your people, for your family, for your freedom, because like we love our families, we love our people, we love this country, we love what we do. However, freedom isn't free. Pay with your fucking soul, and then you pay with your fucking your lineage, and your children are going to be fucked up by this generationally. All this crazy shit happens. Anyways, digressing. I recommend doing that. I understand it's going to be probably one of the most difficult things you do, because why? Because that shit is woven into our identities. It's woven into our identities. You know, we're warriors. You know, we always have been and always will be warriors, right? That's not going to ever be taken. That can't be taken from you. Not in the hearts. Not from the people I was in the military with. I know, like, a lot of us were warriors. Some of us weren't. But we got manipulated into joining anyways. But anyways, it's okay. It's okay to let it go. You're not letting me down. You're not letting your people down. You're not letting your country down. You are freeing yourself so you can truly be of service, and you can heal. And maybe you will have revelations as well that you can share with other veterans and other people, to let them know that We live in a very strange world, and there are forces that we cannot see that have a big influence on us. And some of us get tangled up with those forces knowingly and unknowingly. And I have to share this. I am supposed to share this. I've shared this with another veteran or two, and they're like, yo, there's something to that. That's different. There's something to that. I'm like, bro, I didn't come up with this. I didn't come up with this. It came to me. I didn't come up with it. It came to me as I was reciting prayers. And man, now my life has changed in strange ways, right? Oh, it's always changing, but I just wanted to share that with my fellow veterans. Hey guys, you don't need that shit. It's holding us all back from, you know, taking care of our people, taking care of our families, taking care of this, you know, this land, right? This land that I would die on because I worked the soil. You know, I bring forth life out of the earth. This is where it's at. This is my home. This is my home, right? And if anybody wants to come and fuck with us or fuck with my people, bring it, motherfucker, right? And I know you feel the same way too, but it's okay. Cut off them chains that keep you bound. You can't see them. They're invisible. They're a cult. They're a cult. They're energetic. It's magic. Just, it's okay. It's okay to do that. You're going to be okay. You're going to be taken care of. Renounce your oath of enlistment and really start to serve. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day.